The frightful time of the year where skeletons are bound to be found in closets, spirits haunting our favorite haunts, and strange creatures going bump in the night. So that makes it a perfect time to create cryptids. Hey goblins and goblets, it's Nell, and I've got a spooky video for you to watch in preparation for Halloween. I'm going to rank the most popular cryptids from S to F, mainly going off 5s, but also based on my general knowledge of them as well. In my younger days, I was obsessed with cryptids and really wanted to be a cryptozoologist, but that doesn't really pay the bills now, does it? Anyways, thanks for watching, and a shout out to @3Pete3PT who put together this tier list. It may not contain some of your favorite cryptids, but if you want to see me do an updated one, leave a comment with your favorites or missed cryptids, and I will do it again live on Twitch. I've also put the link to the tier list in the description of this video, so if you want to do it yourself, you can. Now let's get into the spooky activity. To get started, we're going to make a tier list. We're tier listing the cryptids. They are all labeled. I don't know them all very well just by their pictures. I know we got like Wendigo, we got Skinwalker. This one's Mothman, I think. We got Mongolian Deathworm. And we got Shadow People. I wish it would tell me what the label of the picture is. But we're gonna tier list them. It's almost Halloween now, and I wanted to make some spooky content. So yeah, we're just gonna rank them S tier through F tier, not based on nothing in particular. Just my own thoughts and feelings and what I like about these like cryptids. And you know what? I think part of it's how much I believe they'd be to be real. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it, and let's start with Nessie. I'm gonna say Nessie is a perfect middle of the pack C tier. It's most likely just a freaking log that some dude photographed while in Loch Ness. Why? Who knows? Looks like a monster. Not a monster. Nessie's not really scary as a cryptid. There's no like, oh, Nessie knocked people off their boats and they drowned in Loch Ness trying to find it. So yeah, it's not a big deal. But I think it's got a good mythos around it. I like Nessie. Like, I went to Loch Ness. I spent time in the region in Scotland. Yeah, I'd say it's a solid mid. What is this thing? That's a homunculus. Now, homunculus aren't really cryptids in the sense that, depending on your understanding of the lore, they're tied to alchemy. And honestly, they're not even a scary cryptid. Like, a homunculus is not something that just like exists out in the world. Someone had to create a homunculus. So I'm gonna put that as like an F tier. It's pretty garbage. What is this? Is this just like lizard folk? I think it says Lizardman. Lizardman, this is just too generic. I'm gonna put it as D. Also, again, kind of like racist tropes, like H.P. Lovecraft's Lizardmen. That was tied to racism. It's not fun. Not fun. It's not spooky. Now, skinwalkers. I believe the indigenous population. I think skinwalkers are. And when indigenous people, Native Americans, they say, yeah, if you hear your name out in the forest, don't answer. I understand. I'm gonna put that as they are definitely A tier. They're definitely spooky. Very, very scary. Now on the opposite end of that, you got deermen. Deermen are just like lizardmen. Like, no. Not scary, not real. I don't get it. Jackalope is also gonna go in the C tier. I'm just putting it there. There's no like it's not a harmful creature. It's not scary. It's just a rabbit with horns, like antlers. And again, I think it like the logical conclusion is likely it was a rabbit that had like some bone malformations going on that was discovered, and that's where the idea of a jackalope, like a mix between a jackrabbit and a antelope. Banshees are definitely like up there. I'd say low B tier. They're definitely on the spookier side of cryptids. Ultimately, they're just ghosts, right? Like the same as a ghost right there. Nothing really, like, they're spooky spirits. My understanding is a banshee is like the spirit of a scorned woman, typically. So it's just a more angry version of a ghost. Again, not that scary, but pretty freaking scary. Pretty freaking cryptid, you ask me. What else do we got? What else? Long-legged Larry. I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna put you as F tier. Maybe I'll look up what a long-legged Larry is. Like, dude, is this something we got on Wikipedia? Long leg Larry. Well, that's a song by Aesop Rock. I'm gonna look up Cryptid? Long-legged Larry. So, not even on the list of cryptid, according to Wikipedia. So yeah, it's definitely F tier. F tier. Yeah, I don't know. Long-legged Larry. Like, I think there's like a Reddit no sleep. I don't care about it. Now a Strider. What about a Strider? I'm trying to see what the heck is a Strider. I'm gonna look this up. I've never heard of it. It looks spooky in the picture. Strider Cryptid Stiltwalker. Texas Stiltwalker. Obscure. I'm just gonna go to the Creepypasta Creatures Wiki. There have been real life sightings of the Stiltwalker. No, there haven't. That's just like a creepypasta. Based off this, it's going in the F tier. It's going in the F tier. It doesn't have like real lore to it. It's like Slenderman. I don't care. I'm not spooked by it. I am not spooked. You know what? Reading about the Mongolian deathworms, they were kind of creepy. If I remember them correctly, Mongolian deathworms were kind of freaking horrible. They were like supposed to like eat. I can't remember exactly. What were they? Yeah, so they exist in the Gobi Desert. Investigations into the legendary creature have been pursued by amateur cryptozoologists and accredited academics alike, but there's been little evidence found to support its existence. And we consider a cryptid or a mythological animal. So apparently, the Tartar sand boa is the Mongolian deathworm. I'm gonna put that I'm gonna drop that down to low C under Nessie. It's a case of like a real life animal that is not that spooky in the grand scheme of things. All right, what's next up on this list? I just want to see shadow people. Shadow people are kind of like, again, they're in the D tier. I'm not a big fan of like these mysterious spooky people. They're just not, they're not something I would necessarily consider like real. They're just not. Oh, if we had Ogopogo on here, it'd be the same thing as Nessie, because Ogopogo is a lake monster. It's just Canada's lake monster. What is this one? Is that the Mokolo Mbembe? Again, this is basically just another form of Nessie, but from the Congo. It's very interesting though that like Canada, Scotland, and Congo, like these three different regions in the world, all have like a lake monster that all appears to be relatively the same. Like Mokole Membe, it's from Bantu mythologies, and like depictions of it is like it's very clearly like almost like a brontosaurus, a sauropod of some type, very similar to how like Nessie and Ogopogo. Now Ogopogo has been depicted more as a serpent, so Nessie and Mokole Membe are more similar. I'm gonna put that there because it does have, I'm actually gonna put it above Nessie because it has a bit more mythology behind it. The doppelgangers are creepy. I'm gonna put them up there with skinwalkers, and same with the Wendigo. These are all kind of like Honestly, when you think about it, skinwalkers, shapeshifters, doppelgangers, shifters, and Wendigo is a man who consumed human flesh and was taken over by the Wendigo spirit. These are all like pretty horrifying creatures, whether they're real or not really, but there's a lot of superstition around them. There's a lot of like, you don't say these names. More so the Wendigo and Skinwalker. All right, like you're not supposed to say those creatures' names. You're not supposed to invoke those spirits. And I kind of get it. I get it. I'm gonna put them as, they are A tier cryptids. Now, I'm gonna put this, my first S tier is just gonna always be Bigfoot. It's always gonna be Bigfoot. I love Bigfoot. Bigfoot, I think, is like an amazing cryptid. Like, people still to this day think it's real, and I love that for him. There probably was a dude walking around in a gorilla suit. That's all I need. That's all I need to believe.
There's got to be an explanation.
The Jersey Devil is the top cream of the crop, though. I remember as a kid staying up late, searching the internet, finding out, reading about the Jersey Devil, reading about like the witchcraft that happened in the region that led to the birth of this like stillborn child from the Salem witch. I don't even know if that's the most accurate version of the tale, but man, did I have like shivers down my spine, and I was worried that I was like gonna have an encounter with the Jersey Devil. I am in bumfuck nowhere, Ontario. There's no way the Jersey Devil was gonna encounter me because it's like specifically to this region in New Jersey. Oh my god, it's hilarious. But yeah, definitely like very spooky. I have very good memories of it. Same with Mothman. These are just like kind of like icons. These three are almost like a holy trinity of cryptids. Like if you ask anyone like, hey, what's your favorite like cryptid mythical creature, they'll probably say Jersey Devil, Bigfoot, or Mothman. Those three have like the biggest following, and I think rightfully so. But like they're gonna be my top in the S tier. A Hool, this is what, an Indonesian vampire bat basically. They're massive, but it's basically just like, I'm gonna put it back in the C tier. Again, case of like real life, real creature or something that got misunderstood. There are like giant bats. So I don't know necessarily if they exist in this region, but all it takes is something getting out of its normal habitat and having an encounter with like an early civilization for there to be this mythology, right? So definitely like cool, but like base level cryptid. I don't think there's anything special about it. Thunderbirds are, again, I like Thunderbirds. It's just an animal. It's a spiritual animal. It's spiritual for indigenous people. But the Thunderbird, it's just an animal. And same with the quagga. Dude, that is just an animal that exists in real life. It is not a cryptid. It is, I don't even know how you would describe it. But it's just a normal thing. Let me look this up real quick. How do you spell that? In fact, because the quagga isn't even a cryptid, it is just an extinct subspecies of a plain zebra. Like, it's a real creature that existed. It's just extinct now. I don't know why this is in here. I'm putting you in the bottom of the F tier. You shouldn't even be in there. Whoever made this tier list, three-peat, you got some explaining to do. Quagga is a legitimate creature. Why are you in here? Anyways. Go back. The direwolf again, it's just a big wolf. I'm gonna put it like, yeah, it's a cryptid. Direwolves are kind of one of those things. I mean, you know what? I'm actually gonna put you at D tier. Now the kitsune, again, spiritual, kind of like a real real fox spirit thing, real spiritual creature, but it's just a fox. Like, there's nothing inherently special about it other than it having like magical powers and things and able to grant wishes. So yeah. Now, there's no night crawlers. These are literally just barn owls. So I'm gonna put them in D tier. They don't even really have any lore. It's not like people got abducted, but they just saw basically baby barn owls in a forest, or baby owls, and they thought they were aliens. The chupacabra, that's going in A tier, but it's gonna go below the real spooky stuff because, again, it's not inherently I don't think it's a very spooky creature, but it's up there in terms of like noteworthiness of a cryptid. I know about the chupacabras. I love the idea about them. I love their depictions. I even have an art project from high school where I did a drawing of a chupacabra, like my interpretation of what a chupacabra is. I got an A on it. I'm a pretty good artist. I think that's gonna be it for like the A tier. B tier, we're definitely throwing aliens up there with ghouls, banshees, and ghosts. And same with the Kraken. The Kraken kind of rounds out that, like, it's nothing, but like the chances are there was probably a case of like a giant sea squid that somehow came up outside of its normal hunting grounds, outside of its normal boundaries, and interacted with some ships. And now we have a mythos of them attacking like ships, even though that's never happened. Got a couple more to round out. Hey, what's this? Just a ghoul? A ghoul is just like a zombie, right? That's all a ghoul really is. I'm gonna throw it in like into this one. It's spooky, nothing inherently specific to it. This one is called, it says a goblo? One sec. Yeah, it says it's a goblo. I don't know what the hell. Is a goblo any different than a goblin? I think it's supposed to be a goblin. But I don't know. I can't find any information on what this is, so I'm gonna throw it down in the F tier. I think it's a bit of a junk. And then the Tauchinoko. The Tauchinoko. That is a Tsuchinoko. Tsuchinoko. Yeah. This is Japanese folklore. That's what this is. It's also kind of the inspiration for Dunsparce, is my understanding, in Pokemon, like the fat land worm snake thingy. But I put it under the Kitsune. Again, definitely has a lot of lore behind it. I don't really expect it to be anything more than just a normal snake, but cool lore. Anyways, that's it. Those are the that's my tier list. I think that's a pretty fair dispersal of the cryptids. Yeah, I threw a bunch in F just because I think they're kind of either why are they in this list? Like long-legged Larry is just a creepypasta. That's not a cryptid. No one actually believes that. Same with Strider. The quagga, that is literally just an extinct animal. Hommonculus is just tied to some like really, it's either alchemy or it's really anti-Semitic. So I'm not gonna validate that. And then Goblo, I think that's just a goblin. And unfortunately, because of the spelling mistake on the card, I'm just gonna put that as a, nah, sorry folks, that's an F. And then obviously ranking out the top, you've got your Jersey Devil, your Bigfoot, and your Mothman. And I'm gonna keep them in that order because I think personally for me, the Jersey Devil is definitely the spookiest. And then Bigfoot, come on, he's a classic. And then Mothman rounding out that third place. And yeah, anyways, that's my my cryptid tier list. So this is going up on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching this over here on YouTube, and